From the great state of Texas, you're now listening to Skip the Noise podcast, a Rounded Edge media production. Thank you so much for joining us. And by us, of course, I'm referring to Rick, a.k.a. the Brown Python Ben, a.k.a. Mexican Nostradamus, and yours truly, Benjamin Benji James, a.k.a. Blueberry Sugar, here for another fantastic episode. Shout out to Mike Tacklebox for the music, and shout out to one young, handsome Jeremy Masters on the ones and twos as well from time to time. Merry Christmas, everybody. We Merry just passed the little Christmas. I know some of you are off of work for a little bit and enjoying some quality time at home. Not myself, because of the line of work I chose to make my living in. It's actually probably the worst time of year and the most busy and the most stressful. So fuck everybody. Oof. But
you mean like selling what is it? Antidepressants? Side of the gas station.
Yeah, that's kind of what I did. And,
yeah, I know. Yeah, you're busy,
good.
man.
That's
You're
good
busy.
stuff. That's good stuff.
Selling, used booster seats for babies and things like that. And speaking of boosters, the former President Trump. Remember, we touched on this last episode. Was it last episode?
That was slick.
79.
That was a slick transition.
I'm telling you, man, that's
professional.
They don't call me Blueberry Sugar for no reason at all. There's simply weight behind that. But so he got booed, right? We talked about this. His crowd that he what's the word I'm looking for? Cultivated, right? And this whole army that took over the Capitol, so to speak. If you want to get really crazy about it, I know Rick's gonna get excited. But we gotta go. This is the post Christmas, pre New Year's podcast, so we have to kind of go a little aggressive right up front. So if Rick gets a little pissed off, that's good. That's going to start the show off in a good fashion. So I'm poking the bear a little bit. So, but I want to turn it over to Ben real quick. You've got some interesting thoughts on this. Anyway, but just to cover what we're talking about last week or the week before, I can't remember. We had talked about Trump stating in public that he got the booster, and his crowd, boo, like uncontrollably booed him. And we kind of talked about the theories behind that and kind of where his movement is at. But Ben, what are your thoughts? What do you think's going on here?
Well, he also went on to have a conversation with Candace Owens regarding this. Okay. And it got even worse. Like he doubled down on the vaccines and on the boosters, and basically said, yeah, I mean, like he still, of course, spouted the whole concept. And so this is when we were talking about this last week. He still espouted the preference for personal choice. He said, no, you got to do what you feel you need to do. Right?
Yeah.
But I'm doing this, and I think this is the right way. And people were still booing him for his personal choice, which is almost ironic because you see all these Republicans screaming about personal choice. But once again, it's only personal choices if it's the choice that if they want you to make. Right. Like abortion, other things of that nature. It's like, oh, no, fucking freedom, unless it's against what we think, that's not cool.
So the left,
huh?
Yeah, it's both.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're right.
I was just going to point that out. That's the same.
Well, in regards to the vaccine thing. And like, once again, I'm not trying to say that the left has become an issue, but in our last discussion regarding this, you were talking about how these people worship science in a way, and it's a wonderful thing. They were booing him because of the personal choice thing, but he explicitly stated that I believe in personal choice. Like, you need to do it if you want to. I'm still going to get them, and I think it's the right way. And they still booed him. He's still being basically, kind of downvoted in a way, kind of removed from the conversation because of those beliefs. And to me, I think that kind of further points that this has become too dogmatic for the Republican Party to handle at all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm still thinking they're booing the system itself.
Right. But dude,
I know
he
what you
literally
mean.
said that.
I know what you mean. He
Personal
said that.
choice is okay. Personal choice is the right way.
At that point, people should have been like, yeah, clappy, I get it. But people, I don't know. I doubt that they're booing it. They're booing. I don't think they're booing the president for
Yes, dude, they are.
His
They're-
personal decisions.
Dude, there are right-wing pundits coming after him for saying that, even though he still said it should be personal preference.
You know, if Rush Limbaugh were still alive, he would have set the record straight on this one. Like the day it happened.
Well, you
know.
know what? While I'm not one to talk much about Rush Limbaugh, he was sensationalist in a way. I don't necessarily know how he would have reacted to this, right? But I don't think it would have been the way that Hannity and a lot of these other people have. I think he probably would have been a little more sensible regarding.
I think so. He shows for Trump. I mean, that's his boy, man. That's his right hand man. You know.
Right. But
and he would have been on the radio saying what I'm saying right now. Like, hey guys, you know, that's his personal choice. This is what we respect.
But see, that's what I'm trying to tell you. They're not respecting personal choice right now.
Yeah. Have you ever heard these stories about people who get angry because their people are wearing masks and they're like, take off your mask, you know?
Yep.
You know, yeah. I'll only do that whenever I see someone in the car wearing a mask by themselves.
Yeah, okay, I feel you. Yeah, that I too also do this.
Yeah, I love
take
that
off
one.
Your fucking mask. You're in the car by yourself, man.
Dude,
we're gonna affect the steering wheel. Come on.
I don't get that. I don't
get that either, man. I think that when people do that, I think it's just a show. Like they're just trying to pander, or
it is.
What is a virtue signal?
I don't
look at me. I'm wearing a mask inside the car by myself.
Either that, or they've got somebody laying down in the back seat and you can't see them.
No, I have a truck, so I get to see.
I hope not. That sounds like, oh my god, that sounds like kidnapping 101 going on in that car.
Why does have someone in the trunk?
It's like, oh my kidnappee could possibly have COVID.
I'm eliminating all potential, you know what I mean, possibilities.
But once again, all I'm saying is I still think that even though he's saying personal choice, which if you've noticed, President Biden today did a little bit of a populist about face about COVID also today in talking that the federal government cannot dictate COVID, cannot cure COVID. He did say this today. This is a big
I saw that.
The Arkansas's Republican governor actually said, thank you, President Biden, because it is the states that will have to handle this problem. So I don't know. I mean, you're seeing fucking Trump go hard and harder in the paint about vaccines and his beliefs. And now you're seeing fucking Biden go a little bit more, softening towards, these federal mandates kind of going away.
Well, I mean, no. I'm not surprised about Biden saying that. It's just a trend of broken promises from his campaign. He said he was going to get rid of COVID. Now he's saying, hey guys, government can't do it. Sorry. I said something that I lied about again. So
not only that,
it's just a trend, dude.
This was probably on their the top of their fucking agenda.
This is the priority
to unravel.
Unravel
I think all their campaign promises right before our eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's going. It's
like,
down.
hey, I said I was gonna cure COVID. Nah, shit, that's not gonna happen.
One by one, just tearing them apart.
But nonetheless, you're starting to see this weirdness, right? Like, are we in the upside down now? You're starting to see the assailable right-wing conspirator, QAnon, everything person basically say, oh yeah, you probably should get this shit and the boosters. And then you have, the senile old man who has just been barking the orders of what everyone else is telling him to do, basically stating now, well, the states bear the responsibility for COVID versus the federal government. And that's just, once again, leading away from mandates, right? I mean, that's what he's doing. He's backing away from federal mandates.
Here, let's talk about the bigger picture here. How fatigued do you think that the American people are getting about COVID?
Done. They're done. We're done. We're done.
Yeah,
right?
I'm done. I'm fucking done. I'm done. I'm over it.
Well, you're in Texas. And Florida, I'm sure, says this. And what about these blue states like New York and California who are doubling down on their restrictions?
I think they enjoy it. I think there's a little. Yeah, I really do. Yeah. I think it's a self-importance thing. I think we try to. I think like what we do against like the anti-vaxxers in our states, their self-importance regarding not doing the vaccine. You just reverse it for the blue states that are hardcore blue. It's the self-serving, the I am,
More
fuck
righteous than you.
exactly,
Yeah. I'm doing everything
indignation.
that I need.
I think they enjoy it. I think it's a hard on for them. I think if you, depending on where you're at and the acculturation behind it, it's just a hard on either way.
Yeah, but what do people in the middle think? I mean, people in the middle, okay, look, I got my forced vaccine because I need to work. Am I still going to hold off on having, New Year celebrations and family gatherings for Christmas?
No,
I think people are past that. They're
no.
I don't think anybody can do that shit anymore. Even people that I know, check this out. Even people that I know that were like initially a year ago, like, no, I'm not coming to anybody's house. I'm not blah, 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 are just like, you know what? Fuck it. I can't live like this anymore. Most people, I'm sure there's still a few, but like, it's been so long at this point and it's drug out, and the waves, the like, oh, we're just, we're almost out of the woods. You can see the light piercing through the tree leaves, and then all of a sudden, like, no, here it comes. Omicron. It spreads faster than anything you've fucking seen before. Everybody, all your coworkers going down. Everybody, nobody cares. Like, it's, I mean, they care,
like the guy
but they
from
don't.
the movie theater. It spreads faster than before.
Yeah,
it's
that guy.
Get your whole family.
Fuck, dude. If only I could.
Omicron.
I'll take that paycheck. Hey, if anybody's out there that has any connects into the voiceover, voice acting world,
dude,
that is impressed with anything you've heard,
dude, you can do voiceover for like gay French porn.
For sure. Maybe, dude. If they pay,
100% rock that. You would rock that. Like,
if they pay, I'll do it.
Oh my God. Could you imagine some of the dialogue from gay French porn? Oh my God. It'd be interesting.
Episode 82.
Don't they have porn for the blind?
Just give me 1 week to do a little research.
What's going on?
Did what?
They do porn for the blind.
Yes,
where they narrate.
Dude, they got porn for fucking marsupials. They got porn for everything, man. Yeah, porn.
Yeah,
for
I think I saw it on Pornhub one time. My friend saw it on Pornhub.
You saw? Oh yeah, you didn't see it. You
watch
didn't see
that
it.
stuff.
Well, I'll tell you, man.
I'm a conservative Christian guy.
That's fucking nuts. But moving on from the gay porn and the porn for the blind. One person who's not showing up in porn, at least not that we know of. Kamala Harris has been showing up in a lot of feel-good
she's
stories
a porn
lately.
Just haven't seen it.
I don't know yet. I don't know. Maybe. Hey, you know what? Everyone has to get through school somehow. But
facts.
But nonetheless, you have, speaking of getting through school, student loans, etc. You've started seeing Kamala Harris start taking populist stances. In particular, this one now that she's starting to take in regards to student loans. I mean, basically, she started saying that we need to creatively tackle the student loan problem. And that she started being empathetic with the loaners, saying, hey, there's a lot of people that have to make, decisions between family, food, and paying their loans, and we can't have that. So you got to wonder, what's kind of happening here? They had her buried in the closet. She was supposed to deal with the immigration situation. That
she did. Yeah, she did great. That was perfect.
Yo, she got slimered from everybody on that one.
Boy, she really made the most of that one.
That might be the Slimer of the Year award. I mean, everybody was blowing on her face. Everybody was. It was bad. It was bad. So now she's being given this big, huge cheese softball of student loans, which almost makes me a little optimistic for student loan borrowers because
don't be.
Well, no. Just hold on. Hold on. There could be something here, right? What happens if now they're just like, because think about it. If they give her all of the things that Biden promised he was going to do, legalization of marijuana, the student loan situation, universal health care possibly. What happens if she becomes a champion of those type populist agendas?
Okay, let's just put it this way. Kamala has never really succeeded on her own accord. For the last person you want to be handling the student loan situation is Kamala Harris, and thinking that you're going to get a result that you want. Well, very likely what's going to happen is nothing.
Right. But the reality is, but you're saying that, right? But
Yeah.
when does any of these people do anything? This is all a plan, right? This is all some type of foot like laid out golden brick road, whatever, to Oz. This is how she can get there, right? What is it? Follow the yellow brick road. This is the yellow brick road to Oz.
Okay.
This is the yellow brick road to 24. I'm gonna tell you right fucking now. If somehow she champions and is able to push through student loan dissolution, we legalization, and some type of compatible universal health care or Medicare for all,
Oh my God.
she wins in a
No.
fucking landslide.
Check this out. Hey, I just had a thought.
Landslide.
Ben, that's. Oh, go ahead. What do you? got?
No, go ahead.
All I was gonna say is like, no, I what Ben is saying, I see that 100%. Yes, I think that Biden was like the what the fuck's the stepping stone, and they really fucked it up at first for Kamala Harris to become the 2024 president. Because if you look at it, the Democrat Party, well, the way they are running it, or the candidates they're putting forth, obviously they have some viable ones, but that's not their objective. Their objective is to force their person, right? Which could be her because of the potential.
Oh, it's got to be her. It's good,
right? And so because there's nothing else to put forth to sell her. Yeah, they're letting her have these things, these almost softballs.
Well, I think immigration was supposed to be a softball,
right? And she fucked it up. That's what I'm saying.
Right. Yeah,
so
everyone fucked that up.
I believe what you're saying is 100% true. Like, this is all deliberate.
Oh yeah,
I think they're having her take on these to at this point, and I would predict that you will see more of these issues come up where she's the mouthpiece for it. So they're already setting up.
Oh yeah,
because they have to. Because if Trump's running again, they better come with some shit.
Yeah, and
that's right. Regardless of what you think about Trump, like if he runs 2024, which it looks like he will, if the Democrats are fucking about like they are right now, it's almost a fucking guarantee.
Well, I think for power, they're going to do whatever it takes. So I think Pelosi and them, they're completely against these type of things. But I think that now the greater structure, which is the actual true power behind Democrats or these representatives, is the DNC. And I think the DNC is starting to see that there's a huge possibility they're going to lose power and massive amounts of power. They don't want it. They don't want a repeat of 93 when, Gingrich brought in all the freshmen, the 125 Republicans, when they completely decimated the Democrats. They don't want that situation to occur again. So I would not be surprised to see her take up the mantle on these populist issues and get them passed. But you want to hear something? Very quickly get them passed.
Right.
Not like half-assed. Like and this could be. I mean, this could be a strategy. This may not be, but I do see something's happening here. So everyone just kind of tune in for the next couple of months, especially watching this student loan shit. I bet you by May, half of the people that have student loan debt, it'll be dissolved.
Right. But here's the thing too, like regarding Kamala Harris, she's still going to fuck it up. That's what I see. That's what I see happening. I agree with Ben that this for sure, that's a deliberate strategy.
I think she's gonna go through it. I think she's gonna go through it, and I think she's gonna crush it. I do see this. The way they're building her up, they kept her in the background. What fucked up the immigration thing was the Border Patrol. They saw what was happening.
No way,
they
man.
Fucking hate her.
No way.
Dude, no. That if you look at what happened, come on. They brought out horses. Who the fuck uses horses? And then of course you got
some police uses horses.
You got the bend. Yeah, during Mardi Gras. During Mardi Gras, they don't use it for like. Come on.
They arrested that dude. Remember? He was in the news. They had him in a lasso.
So
and they walked him over to the police station.
My god, that was another great use of horse. Maybe equine strategy should not be utilized in law enforcement at all. But nonetheless,
they need sharpshooters. and people that like,
boy,
you know, like
now
the
we're
Apaches,
just
you know how they used to go on sideways on their Indians, you know, I mean their horses.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think
Sideways on their
sideways
Indians.
on their Indians.
Chill, dude.
Buddy, whoa.
You know, that was something else I saw. Never mind.
That was a good movie. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't like Kamala Harris, right? I still think she's a piece of shit. That's not what my thought process is revolved around. I think now the DNC has a new strategy.
Okay,
They're
but
going
here's the thing with
populist.
student loans,
Huh?
specifically student loans. That
I think
she
they're going
doesn't have to.
populist.
She doesn't have to convince Congress. She has to convince the senile old man to go ahead and stop student loans for now, or at least pause them. I mean, it's not.
Dude,
I mean,
it's
it's
weekend
something
at
that the executive
Bernie's.
branch can do
It's
now.
Weekend at Bernie's. All you gotta do is give him a piece of candy and tell him where to
But
sign.
he's not responding to it. And Kamala's not convincing them if that's the case.
I think because I think the DNC. I think this is strategy. They're fucking. This is the drama, bro. This is the foreplay before everything starts getting going, dude. Because I think they wanted to build up this. I think they're trying to build a character here. They're going to and I'm telling you, if they utilize the populist movement, fucking Trump got elected on similar policies, on similar type actions. I'm telling you, man, something could be brewing here with fucking Kamala Harris.
I think that's what they're.
could be gangster.
I think it's too late for her.
No, I don't
It
think
is
so.
too late. You got
I don't think so.
2024 is coming up. You're going to have the Republicans take over the House and the
I don't
Senate.
think so.
They're not going to cooperate with it.
Long 2 years, very long 2 years, very, very long 2 years. And I hate to say this,
Yeah.
they want it that way. They want to show the Republicans going against all the populist things, just like the Republicans try to have the Democrats doing the same thing. This is just a reversal. I think the populist tickets can be passed by executive actions. And they're going to try to show that they worked with the Republicans. Republicans said no. It's just they're reversing the tables now. I think the Democrats work better when the back's against the wall. I really think that this is a strategy that I think is going to show Kamala Harris she's going to definitely improve her ratings, if not become more popular. Because
Or just be a lame duck vice president.
it could be, but I don't think so. I think executive action is going to win the game. And I'm not trying to say this. And like I said, I'm not saying this because I like Kamala Harris. I do not like Kamala Harris. Why
are you wearing a Kamala Harris t-shirt then?
Okay. It was on sale. All right. But seriously, it should have been fucking Bernie Sanders, Bernie Sanders all the way. But that would have been a good president for the United States. But I do see something happening here. I do feel like, and American people, it'd be up to whether or not they're going to get tricked, or whether or not the type of changes like impacted by her will be enough to kind of get it past the fact that she's a narc hose bag that, is basically just clown shoes. We'll see. I don't know.
Well, whatever she comes up with, she's gonna go to Charlemagne the God and
oh boy,
oh
boy,
and just release all her that's her press conference right there. That's where she goes. She doesn't come to Skip the Noise. I don't know why.
I don't know
why.
Oh boy,
that would come here to talk about her accomplishments.
We'd have dudes jumping through our windows with like ropes and shit. It would last 31 seconds.
What's that?
God. Like all the shit that we would say to her, we would literally be arrested within minutes. But
hey, you know what? Listeners, Skip the Noise listeners, you want to become a legend? Start tweeting or whatever social media means you have necessary to poke the bear of one Kamala Harris and ask her to come on Skip the Noise.
Oh boy.
Ask her to email, hey, you got a dream starts somewhere. So
dude,
it's not going to happen, but it'd be fun if whatever listeners felt so engaged, you have my permission to tweet at her or however you feel like you can get to her and ask her to come on Skip the Noise.
I had this weird dream, actually.
Did you?
I don't know.
Talk about it.
Okay.
No, it was a weird dream. It was actually very short. I dreamt that first of all, I robbed a bank. And then that I started hanging out with Ivanka Trump. Isn't that weird?
Huh, that makes sense. That completely makes sense. 100% makes sense. Actually, your dream, that is about as how like there's these cryptic meanings behind dreams. Your dream does not have a cryptic meaning at all. It's about it's plain
just
as
reality.
simple as possible. It's reality. I want to be a crook to hang out with more crooks. Fucking great.
No, man, but in my dream, she was a total angel, you know? So, it was
bet
actually
she
a really
was.
good dream. Yeah.
I bet she was. I
Yeah.
bet she was.
And the whole dream, I was hanging out with
wonderful
her,
angel.
at the poolside and stuff at the hotel. And I was checking over my back to see make sure the cops weren't coming.
Oh.
Anyway, that was my whole dream. So it wasn't really a restful night's sleep because I was always anxious that I was going to get arrested. But it was also a cool dream because I was hanging out with Ivanka Trump. So anyway, just want to throw that in there. Let you guys know what's going on in my head.
Boy,
sounds nice. That sounds nice.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I don't have time for therapy, so this is it.
I like it.
Okay,
I like it. It's pretty good. So moving on. Ben, why don't we touch on this CIA controversy, this kind of thing we're kind of talking about a little bit earlier before we started up in the pre-show discussion. Why don't you impact upon us some of this interesting?
Yeah, this is a little
kind of disgusting and
little
terrifying.
concerning. Yeah. So
all at the same time.
As you know,
CIA, so
government agencies have not been the most trustworthy establishments or or whatever you want to say.
They're cartel.
Recently, yeah. I mean, this has always been the case, but especially here recently,
our cartel at least operates with rules. Okay. Cartels have rules.
No, it's true. Governments don't.
It used to mean something to be part of the cartel.
Exactly.
CIA and FBI,
Hey,
they don't have that shit.
Look, bro.
They don't.
Cartels have rules. Okay. CIA does not. Okay, let's be very honest. Okay, let's not.
That's true.
Let's not.
That's true.
Let's not pull down the cartels. Okay, let's
what
not.
Benji wants to talk about is something the cartels would definitely not do.
This is the
they
number
do a lot
one
of crazy
rule.
shit, but
they don't
not
do this shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Continue.
So recently, it was discovered, and this was all sort of the beginnings of this came from BuzzFeed, right? Everybody jokes about BuzzFeed's got the little clickbaity news articles and shit like that. Well, apparently they did a public records request, multiple, like going back for years and years and years, regarding, I guess, rumors of some people within the CIA that a bunch of basically either sex crimes involving minors or child pornography. So there's at least, I want to say 10 to 12 cases documented of said individuals within the CIA getting busted with either everything ranges from possession of child porn to, trading and buying pornographic material involving minors, all these type of things. Only one of these in this 10 to 12 cases was charged with any kind of crime. So obviously the message here is, well, and it was actually stated in some of these that no legal action was further taken because of the sensitivity of what the information that would be brought about by a potential trial.
And you know what the sad part is about that? That one guy that was probably charged, he was probably charged because he did the wrong paperwork.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh boy.
No, really.
He filled out form 4396 instead of 4397. Now he got arrested.
Hey, no, it's 483.97B -4.
That's why he got arrested.
That's why he got
That's where
arrested.
his dumbass went to jail. Anyway.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
like,
no,
This is the way the government works.
if you're going to commit sex crimes, you must fill out this form, but B, and only half of section 7.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you leave the other section to the office.
So a little bit of perspective here.
That's the office.
Sorry, man. I just thought that, I hate the government. That's why I need.
I could tell.
We know
The
that.
other parts for office use only. He filled out. That's
Yeah.
arrested. That's awesome. Okay, my bad. Go ahead.
But no, the thing is, so obviously the problem here is that protect. In other words, there's no checks and balances for fucking anybody within the CIA. You have a government agency that can just run amok and do the worst, the most heinous of all fucking crimes. If you ask probably 99.9% of the population, you know what I mean? Which criminals worse than murderers, worse than anything you can think of. Sex crimes against minors is pretty much the worst shit you can do, which almost unanimously would, according to most people, would deserve the harshest of punishments. Yet within the fucking Central Intelligence Agency, these individuals, they're just, in order to protect the secrets, air quotes, they're allowed to get away with literally the worst crime imaginable in Western society. What does that tell us? We've already talked about in previous episodes about the FBI and all the fucking fuckery that's mounted up in recent years, including the plot to kidnap. Was it Minnesota, Michigan? Fuck. Why did I feel like a dumbass?
Yeah, I think it was, Michigan.
It was no. Oh,
Michigan.
Well, fuck it. Whatever M state up north, fuck it was. And this is ridiculous that we don't know
the
this
one
shit.
with Governor Whitmer.
Because yes, we know the governor's fucking name, but we just can't. Somebody get on the so we don't fuck this up any worse. It's late. Do you guys realize that when we record these, it's late as fuck, and like there's a lot of shit.
We just worked like 12-hour work days.
Yes, exactly.
So how to deal with the kids, put them in bed, give them
bro.
baths.
So sometimes the most simplest of facts go overlooked. So Ben, you're a man on the spot, please.
Okay, so I'm looking up
just so at least I feel good that we present the correct information.
Hold on a second. CIA.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. So CIA agents, they abuse kids and whatnot. Under what context? Were they like in a third world country or something? And they just got caught.
No. So I'll just
in Thailand or something. What was going on?
So here's a couple of them were just and not only that, a few of these cases, this online activity was going down on CIA time with CIA equipment like laptops and such. Some of this stuff came up, I can't speak individual. I'm not going to sit there and break down each individual thing, but I'm just saying in general, I'm throwing a bunch of facts that could be intermixed with a number of these cases that came out. So yeah, some of these happened through, informants. Some of it happened through somebody's fucking laptop being unattended. So shit like that. But this is going on with fucking CIA computers and on CIA time. Like, it's fucked enough that the individuals involved, that's what they do for a living. But the fact that they're actually fucking doing it on taxpayers' time and they're not getting charged with a crime.
Yeah.
This is more fucked up, dude. This is more fucked up than any of the big I'm not going to go individually because I don't want to get fucking torched or sued. But name your big public national news fucking trial. Any of these individually, to me, destroy that and how fucking slam dunk and open and shut it would be on fucking government time.
There's also I read the article too. There's also an Epstein connection too.
No, yeah,
where the CIA instructed some law enforcement agencies to stay away from Epstein.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, also this happened with Manson.
Yeah.
This happened to Manson too. He was also considered, I believe, an asset, and he was actually basically like in several occasions was let out of prison on multiple occasions, despite being multiple time offender, etc. And he was let out. And a couple of times, like they would say, "Why'd you let him out?" And he goes, "It was above my pay grade."
Yeah,
they just called in to say let him out. It's kind of interesting how some of these CIA informants or FBI informants are basically given this crazy, immunity to basically do whatever they want to, and that's the kind of scary part right there. But this is definitely a pattern that they've been doing for a long time. So it's just sad that once again it reinforces this this really scary thing that there really is an undercurrent of human beings in power that have like seriously sick perversions in regards to children. Like it really is kind of like, you hear Alex Jones and you hear all these fucking people saying some wild shit about the crazy child trafficking and, all this other stuff. And, with the CIA thing, it kind of just shows like even our guys, like it shows how far in this weird perversion goes. I mean, you got Epstein, you got the implications of who he had involved in it. There's just a really weird, gross thing going on with really rich people and children. It's kind of disgusting. I mean, it's deplorable.
Yeah. I think you're right about the rich people thing.
Right? What the fuck, man?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I when you say that, the first thing that came into my head was John Benet Ramsey.
Oh yeah, that's
I
weird.
mean, the parents were rich, affluent. That's who they used to hang out with, and the little girl. I mean, God bless her soul, she was murdered, but in the way she was murdered and everything, I mean, it's something about rich people. Sometimes I don't know what it is. Maybe they have too much time. Maybe they don't. Maybe they have enough money for lawyers to get out of it. I don't know.
Well, they feel like they're above reproach. I think that they're above the law. And not every, I'm just saying in general, I think that tends to be the case, and why some of these things that are like unbelievable, like you couldn't even imagine. But when you get to that level of power, like an Epstein, and you have that many connections and you're so tied in, well, especially with him, that's a whole nother animal. Because obviously I think the biggest thing with him is he had so much shit on like so many powerful people that like,
and money
he literally
ruled
the world, and he was above the fucking law. And I think that's how he lived. And once it finally came down,
once he was hanging around.
Yeah, true.
He got fucking smoked, bro. It's just how it goes with these sick. There's just a sickness. And the scary thing is that there seemed to be quite a bit of a weird perversion with that occurring also across the pond. That one the BBC guy who got busted with this crazy thing, and this underground. It's just something very strange with rich people. Was it? And Prince Albert, right?
Jimmy Savile, I think, he was like the host, right?
Yeah. And there was a whole underground current of this occurring. And then, you throw in pedophiles and priests and stuff like that. It just seems like there's just this weird, sick undercurrent, like this disease, this cancer in our society with people with power that just tend to the sick perversions they commit.
I don't know.
It's just fucked up. This is fucked up. But to continue upon this morbid trend, unfortunately, another child who's been impacted in LA in a police shootout that went awry, and a young 14-year-old was killed by a stray bullet in a dressing room. The complete bystander was not part of the situation at all. LAPD has released footage of it, and her name was Valentina Oriana Peralta, and it passed through a dressing room wall. That's how she died. So,
or like at a Target or something.
No, it was basically they don't really name the story. It just said it occurred in a shopping center located in North Hollywood, and apparently the police said they were firing at a suspect who had assaulted another woman. The suspect was 24-year-old Daniel Elena Lopez, who was also killed. So
that's a good part, right?
Basically, well, yes and no. I mean, like, what was the amount? Hold on. So basically, body cam video appears to show police witnessing what appeared to be the end of the attack. Several officers approach the scene. One exclaims that the woman is bleeding. A few seconds later, multiple shots are heard, and the suspect, who appears to have retreated a few feet away from the victim prior to the shooting, falls to the floor. Police then placed the gentleman in handcuffs, and where he was transported and died. And of course, unbeknownst, the bullets that they fired went through the wall and killed the 14-year-old. So this is just another sad tragedy unfortunately, just, wrong place, wrong time. But, the real question will be whether the officers showed excessive force in a situation. They are in a shopping center. And to just start busting caps like a motherfucker, that's just not a good idea.
Oh, what's the reason? I mean, did the guy pull out a gun and was going to shoot?
No,
anyway?
They said the body cam basically shows I guess he whooped his, someone's ass, so female's ass. I don't know if they were together or not, but typically in these events, you can assume it's a domestic type situation. He whooped her ass.
Most dangerous, you know that.
They are.
Yeah, cops usually get shot during domestic violence situations.
Well, she was laying on the ground bleeding. He had already retreated away from her. So, what,
I mean, did he look like he was going to pull out a gun?
No one's saying anything about a gun being pulled.
I mean, yeah, but were the cops telling him to get on the floor, first of all? I'm sure they were. He was
so
like,
basically what happens is
fuck the police.
The police witnessed the very end of the attack. And so several officers approach the scene. One exclaims that the woman is bleeding. And then a few seconds later, multiple shots are heard. And the suspect, who appears to have retreated a few feet away from the victim prior to the shooting, falls to the floor.
I'm pretty sure that news article is missing a detail. The part where the cops say, get down.
I mean, maybe not. But nonetheless, that's a lot of excessive force in a public space, right? I mean, at that point in time, I don't know. Sometimes you have to really think about de-escalation, escalation techniques. Like, once again, all I'm saying is these cops really need to be trained better. I just think that there's got to be better ways. I mean, I guarantee you, had he had a weapon, they would have said that in any article.
I don't think so.
Yes, they would have. They would have said he had a weapon.
No.
The LAPD released the body cam. They would have said that. The body cam was released by LAPD.
Yeah.
So they would have said, oh, well, look, he had a weapon, so that's why we shot him. They haven't said that.
Or it appeared he had a weapon or something like that.
They didn't say any of that. None of that was released. This is their statement. Is the release of the body cam footage.
But okay, first off, you got to understand right now, LA has a shortage of police officers because dumbass politicians there decided to defund them. So there, the very few that are still there are very apprehensive in pursuing crimes. You either take a laissez-faire approach where you're like, nah, fuck it, man, I'm going to sit in my car and collect the check, or I'm going to do my job and see what I can do to help my community. I don't know about, it's unfortunate, but cops are on edge right now. And it's unfortunate this little girl had to lose her life at the age of 14. It never should have happened. But it could just be a consequence of wrong place, wrong time. This is my take on that.
No, you're right. I think it's wrong place, wrong time. But unfortunately, I think at some point, a lot of these, I think we're having issues where,
well, in the words of Joe Rogan.
See, no, you know
Seth
what?
Rogan. That's a part of city life.
Well, nonetheless,
that's my Seth Rogan impression.
Joe Rogan.
Okay, so yeah, no, he definitely didn't
impress Joe Rogan, man.
He didn't have a gun or a knife. They're saying he was beating up the person with a heavy metal cable lock around. So basically,
fuck, man.
No,
come on,
no,
is it bash your head in or something?
No. He had the cheap brass knuckles, where you put the lock around one of your your knuckles, and is that enough to get shot for? He had already retreated. Yes, you should not. But was that enough for them to bust caps like it's fucking the OK Corral? I don't know. Once again, it's a very sad situation. It's just kind of shitty. So unfortunately, a poor 14-year-old child not to get to go home. So
yeah.
So moving on, but just like I guess a lot of people that work for Apple, they don't get to go home, right? Right, Ben? What's story on this?
Rick? I think Rick was going to bring this one.
I think. Yeah. So I think what was it, like the Christmas Eve or 2 days before Christmas? Some 50 Apple employees staged a walkout across about 10 stores. So that amounts to about 2 employees that didn't show up, basically, per store. I know. 1 or 2 employees that didn't show up per store. So it was a very small walkout, but their statement resonated with a lot of Apple employees and some people. but not enough to make any changes. But I'm glad they did it. They made a statement. I don't agree with what they were saying, but good for them. Good for them. I'm happy they did that, and they had some media attention for it. But some of the things that they were requesting, I don't know if y'all want to know.
Please.
What the walkout was about.
Yes.
Of course, of course we want to.
So basically, they said that they deserve to work in a respectful workplace. All right. They deserve paid sick time. Apparently, they don't have sick leave. Apple employees don't have sick leave.
Oh, God.
And any vacation time is accrued on an hourly basis. So if you work X amount of hours, you accrue X amount of hours of vacation time, which is, it's reasonable, I guess. But it depends how much time you accrue. I mean, is it worth it? Is it worthwhile?
It depends on it depends on the math, but definitely it's
some of the things that they're trying to make their workplace better is that they want N95 masks to be distributed to the employees. Apparently they don't have sanitizer stations. I don't know who doesn't anymore, but I thought they might have.
I mean, I thought everyone had those before the pandemic, right? Like people are just like, let's
especially
not have
if you're
dirty
touching computers and phones. I mean, you don't need COVID to tell you need a hand sanitizer in the area. So
no, right. Yes, that's accurate.
And this one actually I do agree with. Ban loitering in the stores. How many times do you want to look at a computer and you got some dude like just surfing the net and downloading his music and stuff, his rap video on YouTube at one of his stations.
Why is it? Wait, hold on a second.
It happens here in the Galleria a lot.
People upload their rap videos.
Yeah, on YouTube.
Why is it gotta be rap?
Okay, I think this is a little. I think we're a little.
What a rap? What?
I think we might be a.
What?
I think this might be an unfair assessment that you're doing there, Mr. Brown Python.
White people rap too. I mean, I've seen Hispanic people rap. I mean, it happens.
Funny part, I hadn't even gone there yet.
It's mainly young people though.
I was actually going to like music genres. There's a lot of rockers that might drop their albums also.
Rockers.
No, they buy Apple computers. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh boy. And here we go.
Anyway, so they want to ban loitering in stores, which I do fully agree with because I don't like sharing those computers. Are nasty. And what else? And that's it. I think respectful workplace too. So apparently, the thing that bothered me the most was that they didn't have sick leave, which is kind of strange. You deserve to if you're sick, man. I mean, take a day off and get paid. It's just,
especially in a pandemic.
Yeah, especially in a pandemic, and especially if you're Apple.
Yeah,
come on. Would it hurt you to give your employees some paid time off, some sick leave? I don't know. I mean, do you really need to live in that round disc of a spaceship in California? I don't think so.
No, and you know what? The overarching theme of that we've seen again and again and again, and highlighted by post COVID, is companies like Apple, Amazon that rule the world. Their workers are speaking up, and this was a drop in the bucket, right? 50 employees total, you said. And that kind of what's it like. I don't know how many different locations, but at the end of the day, it's like Apple didn't really take a hit, but this was a public store or a big newsworthy story. And it showed that they did organize on a very small level, but they did organize. Same thing with like the Amazon thing. Right in Alabama, there's been strikes. I mean, in other words, the labor movement is catching steam because it's becoming more. It's more up in the open how these companies that are dude, Amazon like tripled their fucking profit. Like,
dude,
profits. Not.
You lock down Main Street and you move everyone to the internet. Yeah, of course you're gonna make the profit. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
One last thing that they requested, which I don't agree with, by the way, is appointment only shopping. So I can't walk. I don't know about that. I walk into the mall.
Yeah.
I don't like that, man.
No. Nah.
You know how hard it is to drive through the Galleria area and then find parking. I'm not gonna make that appointment.
Well, and here's the thing too, they probably don't want that either. Like I'm
First
sure
world
people
problem.
thought this up. Yeah, no, it is because, well, and here's the thing too, appointment. I don't think if you're an Apple employee, especially one that works at an actual physical location storefront, you probably don't want appointment only because you want foot traffic that gives you more chance to sell your stuff and potentially work more hours, right? Or like, in other words, the labor, I think, would drastically shrink if or their labor force would drastically shrink if it was appointment only, because you're controlling, you're funneling the amount of people that can actually get there and potentially buy products. So I don't think they really want that if they thought that through, but maybe there's more to it. I don't know, but
Yeah.
in other words, I guess the whole thing, like I said, though, is these the labor movement has caught a little bit of steam because of all this shit, and people are it's not a secret, right? Like, this is very public knowledge that these fucking billionaire moguls are going into fucking space and basically tossing their money around in their gold fucking cheetahs in their
Tossing salads,
it's
tossing
a joke.
money.
Yeah. But it's ridiculous. And the average fucking person is taking it right up the fucking ass. And so it's tough for people to fucking deal with, dude. Am I wrong? They're getting their fucking cheeks clapped. Well, these motherfuckers are like, let me see how many inches I can get in this fucking space with a bazillion dollar.
This might be a little aggressive. I mean,
Are we still talking about Apple?
Yeah, I know. Are we talking about Apple still? I mean, or did we go back to the French porn voiceovers you're working on?
A little bit of both.
Well, another thing about Apple, and I'm going to be touching on Apple today. So the Securities and Exchange Commission blocked Apple's bid so they squashed Apple's bid to block shareholders' proposal on forced labor. So basically, the shareholders of Apple, people who buy shares, I guess in bulk quantities or whatever, they wanted the board members at Apple to prepare a report on how it what it does to deal with forced labor in China from either its primary or secondary sources. And Apple, for whatever reason, wanted to block that report from being made. So, I don't know. Apple is becoming, if you were blocking it, you'd be proud of it. You'd want to announce it. Hey, look, this is what we're doing to block forced labor. But they want to block that report from being made. And the most logical reason is because they're probably not doing anything about it, and they probably know about it too.
Yeah,
you're gonna find out you got a bunch of Uyghurs making iPhones, or go back to the concentration camp.
No, for
and
real.
That's how we get our iPhones.
And what's crazy too is like, so put that in perspective, right? You got these Apple employees to work at the mall,
these
walking
Apple
out. Well, I know I said Apple employees, not Apple boys.
I thought you said these Apple boys. I was like, oh, what the
all right.
fuck? We're going deep.
Now we are. So you do have some Apple boys that are taking a little walk and they don't want to go to work because they're not getting enough breaks.
I'm an Apple boy.
And then you actually have like slave laborers making the things that they sell. That's a little ironic, isn't it?
It is.
It is.
It's fucked up.
Now you know why Apple is one of the top grossing companies in the world, because they have slave labor, and then they don't pay for sick leave on their employees here who sell the product.
Right. No, that was my whole thing earlier.
And the thing is, we love Apple, and this and that. We say good things about it, but going back to the whole cartel analogy, at least they pay people who grow their product. They pay people who move their product, and they people who sell their product. Everyone ends up winning, and I'm just saying.
Well, okay.
I mean, their HR might need a little help in corrective action sometimes, but they're, I mean, you have Apple here who's not selling narcotics, they're selling iPhones and electronics, but they're utilizing forced labor, and they are treating their employees here who sell their products, who distribute their products like shit.
Yeah,
and that's okay. That's
no, but isn't that every company?
That's
though?
fine. That is every company.
It is every company. And
I mean, what are they doing that's so
not my
different
company.
than any other Fortune 500 company?
Not my company. My company, we
Yeah, not yours.
You know,
No, they just have to read your book, My Struggle.
I talked to them out of starting families,
and then you have bands. You have bands that march around your building. Dun, 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 dun. You're just like all like, you got a uniform on. No, but isn't that what every
people waving flags out of
Yeah.
balconies across
for some reason you get on a pulpit and start like screaming in German.
Actually, I get off the second floor balcony and I'm like speaking out of it through my microphone, and I got my nice golden hair on and everything.
Golden. Oh boy. But nonetheless, that's what every fucking company does, right? I mean, don't get me wrong.
I start my
Apple's pretty
speeches in
bad.
a low voice, and then I go on higher and higher. You know,
That's good.
that's good. I use my arts a lot.
oratory.
Like I said,
technique.
ladies and gentlemen, I will never retract this statement. Rick is literally Hitler in art school. Okay, it's just one wrong step, and we're gonna have the Mexican Führer over here. But, yeah, I mean that's every big corporation to me. But right now, what Apple's doing, yeah, that's. I mean, Foxconn, right? Isn't that really Apple? I mean, Foxconn's the one that produces all the processors. I mean, they had, we've talked about this. They have fucking nets outside the buildings so that, not so many people will. I mean, even though I don't know how well this net's going to hold, if you drop 20 fucking, 10 stories into a fucking net, you're not going to be okay. Right. You're not going to be like, you're not going to work the next day.
Really?
No, dude, ropes. Dude, let's say you drop 10 stories. Let's say you drop 30 feet into a rope. It's gonna hurt, bro. It's not gonna feel.
You think
great.
you might just fall through it like in pieces?
No, I think that you're gonna like hit. You're gonna hit it like, oh no, dude. Actually, quick tangent. You ever seen the original Resident Evil? Whenever they enter into that elevator that has lasers, and like they start jumping around the lasers, and so the laser then forms a grid pattern, and the guy like gets cubed up.
Nice.
Because like all of a sudden he does like one of the guys does like a split, then he does like a jumping flip, and then all of a sudden the computer's like, fuck you, and covers the whole thing in a grid pattern. And then when the door opens, he just like falls apart like cube by cube. Anyways, but either way, that's what this has been going on forever. I mean, that's and this happens everywhere. That's how it is. I mean, if you look at, I remember for Walmart, remember the American Made thing where they basically were using slave labor. Nike uses slave labor. Who doesn't use slave labor, right? Name me a major corporation that doesn't do this. So it's just sad that we continue to permit this to occur.
Major corporation, manufacturers, right? And a manufacturing corporation.
Dude, any of them. I mean, you gotta remember, all roads lead to China when it comes to development and when it comes to economic. Any type of financial gain or discount is going to come from China. So you could basically say anyone outsources to China or India or somewhere else, and they're essentially not paying their workers very well either. I mean, everyone does it. That's kind of the American way.
Yeah, but why not admit to it?
Well, because
why does Apple have to block this thing?
Optics. Just like Nike blocked when their shoes are being made by 12-year-olds in sweatshops.
Oh yeah,
that's why LeBron James, stopped talking about China. I mean, it's all about money in the end, right? And so that's the American dream, bro. That's what it is.
Maybe I could start making stuff over there, huh?
Oh boy. And here it comes, and you know what? This is Rick's about to get the art school rejection. And so with that, I think it's a time for a quick breaky poo.
Yeah. Breaky poo. Yeah, why don't we take a little breaky poo, take a little pee pee and wet your whistle. All right. So yeah, without further ado, I think we will take a break. Sorry, I'm stuck on the breaky poo. That was just
breaky poo was pretty dope.
Unexpected and very magical. So let's take a little magical break and twirl our little magic fucking baton and have this little fairy tale of a break. We'll see you shortly. And we're back. Party in the Back underway. Ben, you wanted to kick off this first topic with a little telescopic advancery.
Yeah.
What do we think?
I like that. That was so scientific the way that rolled off your tongue.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just wanted to congratulate NASA on a wonderful day on Christmas Day. The world got a wonderful Christmas gift, the launching of the James Webb Telescope that will be cruising over to Lagrange point 2, which for all you people that have lives, it's roughly 1 million miles away. It's a little bit longer orbit than our moon around this, so it's a big day. It's a great time to be alive. This particular telescope will see further than we've ever been able to, and not only that, it's going to be able to utilize the infrared spectrum. So what that means is they're going to get way sharper images, be able to collect more light, more detail, and really actually start studying exoplanets, which, while we've always known they've been around, the discovery of them have really not taken place except for the last 20 years or so, where it's really kind of become pretty, I think now there's 3,800 of them. So now with this telescope, they'll be able to go further back, see way more, and maybe get a little bit more resolution to what occurred at the beginning of our universe. So it's exciting times, guys. I'm pretty stoked. I'm pretty pumped. I think this also has the ability to look at spectral analysis of planets, in particular for signs of life, which is also cool. Signs of life.
I just want to see a clear picture of the black hole. You know how we got
That'd
that
be great.
grainy picture of the black hole?
Well,
I want to see something clearer,
Well, this is, dude, remember, so
yeah.
Hubble took those pictures, right? And Hubble, I believe, has a 6-meter aperture. I believe the Webb telescope, and ladies and gentlemen, we will be doing live Googling.
Oh, wow.
Live Googling.
Very nice. Very.
Hold on.
That's such
Live
such an obvious phrase, but I don't think I've ever heard it before.
Live Googling?
Live Googling.
Let's see. So
I like it.
I'm doing my best.
You're doing good.
So I'm looking at a picture, and
it looks like a giant.
It's a
telescope.
big telescope. So okay. So the primary Hubble mirror is roughly a little bit taller than the standard man at about 2.5 meters. The one,
what's that in American?
That's about 7 foot tall for all of our Americans. The James Webb primary mirrors compiled to be over pretty much 7 meters in height. And if you were to put the primary Hubble in the spectrum of it, you could fit probably looks like 6 or 7 of them in the same space that the Webb telescope is going to be utilizing. So it's kind of cool. It's pretty amazing. So I'm pretty stoked. The resolution we're going to get will be significantly more than Hubble. It's apparently been a dream for several scientists for over 30 years that have been working on this project. So it's a big deal, guys. Big deal. I think we're really going to start getting an idea of what's out there now. And hopefully it leads to other projects where we have bigger scopes or something, where we can really start looking out and seeing what else is going on out there. But it's pretty neat. I'd love for it to show some industrial gas in some planet, and there's no explanation other than just some type of byproduct of some type of industrial revolution or something. To me, it would just be awesome if somehow this is what definitively proves there's something else out there.
Fuck yeah, like an alien industrial revolution going
right, exactly.
down.
Like all of a sudden be like, oh fuck, dude, we're seeing fucking coal burning or something. Yeah. It probably won't be. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking on my ass when I say coal. But coal. Coal or something. It's going to be, it would just be awesome if some crazy chemical byproduct that's not organically possible is cited, are viewed, are the wave spectrums there. And we know definitively, holy shit, there's people on Omicron Perseus 8, aka Futurama,
Fuck.
and they're out to get us. They hate all humans. So, but that being said, I think this is a great day for science. I think it's a really cool thing, and I really hope that in the end, we achieve something really cool with this.
There was this one movie a while back on Netflix. I guess, but back when Netflix was still kind of brand new. There was some scientists like that who found a planet with a telescope. And when they went to the planet, they figured out that it was a human society that was about 500 years behind where present day. So, they still had like Visigoths and empires and stuff like that. It was very medieval like, because they were about 500 years before.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, dude, it was a really, really neat concept. And then scientists kind of, they made a base there, a hidden base where they could study this society of humans.
I've seen this show.
It was a black and white movie.
I've seen this.
Where was this?
It was on Netflix. It was on
Netflix, right? Yeah.
I've seen this. I just cannot for the life of me remember the name of it. And they've revisited that concept in so many sci-fi movies, after that. Yeah. Stargate, a bunch of them did like those. It's really cool. Anyways, continue. I'm sorry.
No. And it wasn't even in English. It was like in Russian or something.
Fucking Russians. Always ahead of the curve.
Sounds about right.
Ruskies.
Yeah. But can this thing detect comets?
Exactly. It's like whenever you're in fourth grade and you fail the vision test they do at school, and you have to go to the eye doctor and they give you glasses, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, whoa, like I can see the chalkboard. But if you have that kind of resolution, just as you said, Rick, you could potentially witness a comet that may be coming your way. There's a recent Netflix movie, Don't Look Up, that touched on this concept. Rick, you were the one who brought this to the table.
Yeah.
And I watched most of it this afternoon after you'd brought it up, because I'd heard about it prior to you discussing this or sharing it with us. What did you think about the flick?
Man, when I saw this movie, I thought it was fucking hilarious. It wasn't as funny of the movies I've seen, but the concept and their take on present day society and how we would deal with a crisis like an incoming comet, man, their take on this is spot on. It's got a very star-studded crew. You got Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence, Meryl Streep, just to name a few of the main characters that were there. And Meryl Streep plays this aloof president who's more concerned about winning elections and optics than actually solving the problem of an incoming comet the size of Mount Everest coming towards Earth. And so, man, this movie just it's supposed to be satire, but I don't know if you can call it satire when you look at it and you're like, yeah, that can actually fucking happen. And
right, yeah, it's almost not satire.
It's almost not satire because
no, it's not.
This thing was, Benjamin, you said this was written and filmed before COVID hit.
Yes. So, yeah.
And a lot of the things, knowing that, and a lot of things that we see now today with COVID closely mirrors what this movie was actually talking about.
Yeah. And it's go ahead. But like, it's a predictable, like if you did study the media, prior to COVID just like highlighted the shit. It put it right in front of our face. But obviously these patterns existed long before the global pandemic. The global pandemic just like almost put it right on your dinner table, on a fucking plate with a pig with an apple in its mouth. So this movie, though, very smartly dissects all these things and really like weaves in government sort of role, the media's role, your average person, the scientist role, the way that science is turned in to this political thing, and that how the distrust of your average person, because they're watching basically this fucking circus, and they're like, the fuck is actually going on? What do I even think about this shit? And then even the people who are smart enough to see behind the curtain and get the whole thing almost go too far because they overthink the whole thing. And it's like, well, no, if you only realize, there's some line in the movie where they're like, I think Jennifer Lawrence's character says it to these guys, and she's like, no, like you're giving them too much credit. Like all your theories are actually giving them too much credit. You think they're smarter than they are. It's really just more fucking buffoon. Yeah, it's more buffoonery than any of this. But anyway, no, the movie was fucking, I thought it was great. And it's almost like a it's almost like a Skip the Noise 2021 or year in review. Honestly, there's so many things that
Nice.
As I was watching this that we had touched on or just not so much the thing, it's a fictional movie, right? But like the aspects of how these things, like I said before, the government, the media, the science, how all these things play into, and also too, it touches on, it's got that character who's like the Bezos amalgamation with Zuckerberg and Elon Musk or like whatever.
The fresh billionaire.
Yes, exactly. And man, this fucking, and then, well, here, let's bring this up too. So Rick and I obviously agree that this thing is very, very smart and touches on so many things that are, like I said, it doesn't even seem like satire because this is actually how shit is. But you said the reviews, or this thing is getting bashed by critics.
On Rotten
It's getting
Tomatoes.
smashed.
That's
critics.
To me, that's the most interesting part. Because what the fuck? That seems bullshit.
All right. So
Right?
here's the thing.
What's
It's
your-
complete bullshit. And so, okay. So the way the movie is written, and the way that the characters are set up, it was supposed to have mirrored maybe the Trump administration. Okay. I think Meryl Streep was supposed to be Donald Trump.
Right.
And then the chief of staff was probably supposed to be, one of the sons, Donald Trump Jr. or something. That's how it,
Right.
Yeah, that's how I kinda
the
see it.
Jonah Hill character.
The Jonah Hill character was supposed to be Donald Trump Jr., I think. But they moved this movie, they pushed it over to now the Biden administration. And if you didn't know this, if they hadn't made so many references to like red hats and everything, you would have thought that this was the Biden administration that they were talking about as well.
Yeah.
Because
I could
they're
see
both
it.
bought out by these billionaires. And in the movie, it's so funny because they're talking about how they're going to knock down this comet headed towards Earth. And the billionaires in the back, calling the president over to say something to them. And Jennifer Lawrence's character is like, what is he doing here? And they're like, well, he's the Eagle Platinum donor, so he gets high level security.
Yeah, Eagle Platinum, dude. Fuck yeah, he's above. He gets into the backstage. He's got the backstage passes.
Yeah,
he's got the keys to get, like, when you're at the airport and there's like riots outside and there's no AC and the place is burning down because the fucking workers are striking. You get to go in that little lounge where they serve you fucking mint juleps and you get to watch the fucking Alabama Georgia game.
The Amex Lounge. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there. It's really nice. But
I bet you have.
No, it really is. It's also hidden too for that very reason.
No, you don't want the plebeians to see you in there enjoying a nice, tasty cold beverage.
So, going off topic. So the way you get into the Amex Lounge at Bush Airport is you have to go through like fucking Terminal D, which is like separated from the rest of the airport, and then there's like a secret elevator between like two like little stands, little restaurants. It's like I don't know, something that sells.
Jesus Christ! It sounds like a Hardy
eggs.
Boys novel to get in there.
I know it does.
Yeah.
So it's a red elevator, and so you press a button, and it takes you up
Hardy
into
Boys.
the rear door opens because it's a double-sided elevator. So the rear door opens, and you end up in this hallway. It's empty. There's nothing in it except a door at the very end, and that's the Amex Lounge. You go in there, and you're right. It's like a ball in there. I mean, there's lounges. There's what else is there? Free food, free alcohol, free CNN, I guess.
Free CNN.
But it's really nice. So anyway, it's hidden. You kind of have to know where it is. You have to call the Amex people and ask them where it's at.
Well, this is crazy though. It seems to be like, I mean, it has a star-studded cast. I have to admit, I have not watched the movie. I will watch it though. I'm going to watch it probably this week. It seems to have a star-studded cast. Seems to be just a big, it kind of is a reflection of what's happening now. I think probably what the critics don't like mainly is I think there's parts of the movie that, you know, talks about the subversion of media. And I think media is still trying to act as if it's not coercible. Like it's still open. And I think anytime
so
someone
stupid.
makes it's so dumb. Everyone knows that. Like if you actually think anything written now isn't for clicks or to try to be sensational, then or it's not woke. That's really what you have here. Right. So basically, I think these type of movies expose it. I mean, imagine Wag the Dog in these days.
Yeah,
like movies like that.
Yeah.
Imagine
it is.
things like that.
How primitive does Wag the Dog seem now?
Oh, right.
Like, but it's like it's the same. It's the same idea,
same type of concept, same
It's the
type of shit.
It's the same idea, but like how accelerated and how overwhelming is the enemy. Like in Wag the Dog, right? The enemy is so much more under-equipped than the enemy now. Like the enemy now is in your fucking soul.
Yep.
They've penetrated into your fucking soul at this point. It's
They really have.
fucking crazy.
And so anyone that criticizes their structure, their castle built upon lies and shit, they attack. You know, it's just like because it just holds a mirror up to themselves. And so they'll attack it for just menial reasons, you know.
You know that the characters, like Leonardo DiCaprio's character, is one of the main scientists. You know, the seasoned scientist who discovers this thing along with Jennifer Lawrence, and he starts off, you know, trying to warn the world on a talk show, on a news talk show, that there's a comet coming. And so what ends up happening over the course of the movie is he ends up becoming more of a celebrity. Because he comes on this show so much and he's got a lot of camera appeal and he's been trained by the media on how to say things. He ends up showing up on magazine articles and, you know, magazine covers and so forth. And he ends up becoming a celebrity almost, you know, over the course of the movie. And I almost see that as a Fauci kind of character.
Yeah.
You know, Fauci, when he came out, he was just the voice of science, the scientist who's going to talk about the virus.
Well, yes and no, because
combat
AIDS. Remember, Fauci's been around since HIV, though, right?
But he's a government employee. He's, you know, he's a government employee. He's not supposed to be a celebrity. But now, I mean, look at Fauci now. He's a household name. He comes out on these talk shows. He's a magazine covers.
He's throwing pitches.
Yeah. You know, this is... It's exactly how the movie had predicted it. How we would treat someone who would.
It's very similar. It's a very similar phenomenon because, like, it's the celebrity science or the celebrity authoritative voice. So he's the expert, right? He's the expert that you can trust. But he's revealed himself obviously to be bought and sold. And that's the only difference in the movie and the real life is that Leonardo DiCaprio's character we sort of sympathize with because he's like the protagonist or whatever, but whereas Fauci is like fucking like it's revealed that he's like he just says whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, Leonardo DiCaprio too. I mean, he starts saying whatever.
No, that's
the fuck
true.
to say.
You're right. I guess you're right.
Yeah.
I kind of I
because
should sort of backtrack on that because they sort of touched on that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, when they abort the real plans to destroy the comet and they go for the alternative that was brought up by the billionaire, he starts shilling for the billionaire. Like, hey, you know, this may work. If you have any doubts, please give us a call. Until someone just knocks some sense into him. They're like, dude, do you realize what you're saying? Of course, that hasn't happened to Fauci yet, but
I wouldn't say that. You're starting
Rand
to see
Paul is
him.
trying to knock it back into him, but no.
Well, no, Fauci's
Doesn't
already
wanna
back.
hear
He's backtracked this whole time. I mean, masks don't work. Masks work. They don't work. You need the first shot. Now you need the second shot, the third shot, and now this that. I think they're always backtracking. I think it's just part of that culture with what's kind of the celebrity scientist right now. But yeah. Now I'm definitely adding this one to my watch list, guys. I gotta check this shit out because anything that pisses people off, I tend to enjoy, anyways.
And
like AKA Dave Chappelle special was fucking great, huh?
Benji and I've been pretty coy about the real details of this movie because it's
Yeah, please. I don't want to be too.
No, I know the twists and turns
on.
this movie takes. You're like, what the fuck? Like, first you're like, what the fuck, and then you're like, yeah, it makes sense.
See,
You know, like it can happen.
yeah. I'm gonna be. I please continue to be quiet. I do want to check this movie out. It just sounds like it's really, really fun. But and for everyone out there in Skip the Noise universe, please check it out too. And if there's some other parallels we don't see or some ideas, please drop a line, let us know, because you know what, I think that's a fascinating discussion point.
Mm-hmm. It is, man.
I think I love movies like that. I love movies that you can't tell the difference between it and real life. You're almost like, is this a documentary?
Exactly, dude. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Exactly.
And the thing is that so I was reading a little bit about it. It's supposed to be euphemism for climate change.
Yeah, climate change. That's what the guy who actually wrote it for.
That's what. But this is from pre-COVID, and so now that COVID has hit, man, like
it almost sticks. It sticks better.
It sticks better. Yeah.
But it's.
He should have just said he wrote it for COVID. Yeah.
No. Oh. Well. But what's interesting though is that the fact that it is a different thing, like it's not a pandemic or it's not like a disease. It's a comet that's coming, almost like allegorically works even better. Cause it's like you're gonna die. Like they say in the beginning, like, it's 100% that this thing is going to destroy the earth. Like it's not up for debate. Like it's gonna destroy Earth. And the reaction to that is like that's what sets off. It's off to the races.
So
presented with the information that like, oh yeah, in 6 months, extinction level event is guaranteed to happen. You know what I mean? And then the reaction is that's like what it would be.
The only reason the president gets involved is very similar to what we were just talking about with Kamala Harris. Moving on to these other issues.
Yep.
Very similar. Right. Yeah, because it's all about the polls and the midterms, and
it's all about the polls.
No, this comet's about to hurl to Earth and cause mass extinction, and they're more worried about the midterms.
Right. Oh, God. Like there's going to be anything after it, and that's the only part that like.
Oh God. But that's just short sight, right? Of politics now.
Exactly.
All about that. I love it. I think I love movies that do that. It
takes it to the extreme to where
100%.
We're already there, right?
Yeah, like logically it doesn't make any sense, but yet that's still the drive.
It's not satire, guys. This is a reality.
No, it's real shit. It's real shit. This is the world you live in. This is the this is dude, like I watched that movie, and usually you're supposed to walk out of that movie saying, that was funny because it would never happen. It was I'm just like, fuck, dude, this can actually happen.
Yeah. Well, if it's not already happening already, from the way that there's just so many parallels that you can draw between what seems like the overall theme of this movie versus the overall theme that we're dealing with now. It's funny. It's funny, if it the only thing that pisses off the people that are mad about it is it's because no one is viewing the situation was supposed to be about, but rather now they're drawing inferences to the situation we're currently in, which is against what they would want it to be, Yeah. So I get you. Had we have never had COVID, this movie would probably be number one, 98%. On Rotten Tomatoes, because their woke ass would be like, oh, climate change, this movie is gonna save us. But since you can draw parallels to COVID, anything that goes against COVID,
and I liked it because you're right. It draws parallels to COVID, and you can really use it to criticize both administrations, the Trump and the Biden administration.
Yep,
and their handling of this situation.
All right, and if you go back, probably other administrations, it just shows the dysfunction in our political system.
Yeah, huge dysfunction. And there's a side story with a Supreme Court nominee that is super funny.
You got pump the brakes. Fuck this movie up for me.
There. It's so funny, man.
Y'all need to have a circle jerk without me on the damn thing, because I gotta catch this. I do want to see this now. You guys have got it all pumped up for me.
Well, and speaking of scientists, there was one thing I want to touch on
nuts.
before we get into our inevitable predictions for 2022. I want to take a little bit of time. We've done this a couple of times on the show. There's an article that came across my path talking about a new continent that may exist. And so I'm just going to lead you with this. The missing continent took 375 years to find. So apparently there is some new continent or some hidden continent near New Zealand that scientists. Okay. So anyway, they just hit the news recently, but I want to read a couple of passages from this article here. So it was 1642 and Abel Tasman was on a mission. The experienced Dutch sailor who sported a flamboyant mustache, bushy goatee, and a penchant for rough justice. He later tried to hang some of his crew on a drunken whim, was confident of the existence of a vast continent in the southern hemisphere and determined to find it. At the time, this portion of the globe was still largely mysterious to Europeans, but they had an unshakable belief there must be a large landmass there, preemptively named Terra Australis. That's interesting. To balance out their own continent in the north. The fixation dated back to ancient Roman times, but only now was it going to be tested. I don't know, man. I don't really want to go any further with this, but I just wanted to really get into those first two paragraphs just because it's exciting for me to read the fucking news. But I don't know, man. It's just I don't even know much about this. Did y'all hear about this?
Yeah. Okay. So amongst like the ancient alien, AKA like freakoids like myself, there's always been talk that there's that other parallel continent. So they actually have a couple of names for it. And I'm drawing blanks right now, but this has been kind of touched upon that there was something there. There's been something there. I think, don't they call it Laconia? I forgot the name of what they're calling it, but there has been talk of this missing continent for quite a while. So it's interesting now that, a lot of people would have called these people like real, just, completely unbiased science and everything. And it's just kind of weird that they actually start finding something out there, So it's actually pretty fascinating, but nonetheless, hidden continents.
Zealandia.
Imagine one day your great grandchildren will go to school in Zealandia.
That sounds like a German area, like Switzerland, Zealandia,
Swaziland, Deutschland.
Germania.
Yep, there you go. There goes Rick. Getting ready, preparing for his speeches.
No,
but moving on. This is the big moment, guys. This is the moment where we open up the books of time and see if we can look a little forward and our predictions for what will be 2022. I don't remember what we said last year, but I'm pretty fucking sure everything kind of worked out that way.
Pretty much.
I think what was our discussions? I forgot. We definitely made some
the one thing I think the only thing we kind of fell short. We were a little more bold in our prediction for it. It didn't really quite flesh out the way we thought it would.
They're still there. They're fucking there. We created a whole subcommittee and a new fucking arm. They're fucking there. They're just, people are being dicks about it. Who wants to start off? Who wants to go with the big?
All right. Go for it.
Python's dropping it like it's hot.
All right. So I'm going to throw a prediction for 2022. I think people are going to realize that Queen Elizabeth hasn't aged or died. And we're going to try to figure out why. And I'm pretty sure that they're going to try to find out she's not human.
Okay.
Well,
we know that Rick's fucking prediction's not going to. I don't see this at all happening.
Dude.
I don't know,
man. I've been seeing a lot of before and after pictures of this lady, and she has not aged. She stopped aging like back in 2000. That's where she ends. Anyway, that's more of the tinfoil hat. I think what's going to happen in 2022, more of the same, sadly.
Oh fuck.
Dude, I'm sorry, man, but no one's gonna. Okay, this COVID thing, no one's gonna let go of the power.
No, so yeah,
Nobody's gonna let go of the power of this COVID.
It's going on
they're
forever.
Yeah, they're gonna hold on to it. They're gonna hold on to it,
Jesus Christ.
and it's gonna get worse.
Oh man.
Why? Because it's just power, dude. These assholes love
Yeah.
power. That's the only reason they get into politics. Normal people like me and you don't get into politics because we don't crave power.
Wow.
But these guys do.
Oh.
You
Like I
know?
said, you're just one art school of rejection away from entering the politics.
Yeah, I
bro.
know, but okay, I can see it. How's that? I have an eye for it. I have an eye for it.
Let's see.
So
All right.
that's my
So you think
prediction.
things are gonna stay about the same? There's not gonna be much movement. You think we'll have further lockdowns, etc.
I think the stock market's gonna stay stagnant at best.
Stagnant.
I think crypto is gonna continue its upward and downward cycles, like digital Ponzi scheme that it is.
It is.
But you know what? Cash in on it when you can, man. Before it gets regulated. What else? I think that's pretty much it.
I see. If I had to go and be bold, I think we'll see the rise of VR this next year. There's going to be a substantial increase in VR. I think the metaverse, things of that nature, you're going to see a lot more people jumping into VR, not just for the gaming purposes, but for the actual avatar play. I think I really think that we're on the precipice of heading towards like not necessarily like Ready Player One, because that's way ahead of what we're at, but at some point we're kind of heading that way. So I think a big jump in VR. I do also see, and like I said, I hinted on earlier, I do really think 2022 will see some type of student debt resolution. It may not be completely canceled, but I think the common sense approach may be pulled out. I really think that interest on student loans will be dissolved. I think all student loan debt will be interest free. And I think that's going to be a big, big thing. I think we're going to see that in this next year. Also, I hate to say this. Also, but I also see the rise of Kamala Harris in this administration, more so than ever. I think they're going to prop her up this year to prepare for 24. So those are my little things. And in regards to COVID, I really think Omicron was the way out. I think by next summer, we're out of this whole thing. But we'll see.
And okay. Last but not least, I'll go ahead and say mine, and it kind of touches on a lot of the same things you guys have been talking about. My prediction is that this is the year, like Ben said, with the VR and everything. But to expand a little bit further, I think this is the year of no turning back. This is where they've collected this whole thing with the collecting our data and our thought patterns and our buying patterns and all of our patterns. They understand it so well. Then they start to, this is where the shift happens, and that people start to, with the fucking NFTs and VR and virtual, living your life, Bitcoin, digital currency, everything existing. COVID was the wedge that drove the fucking crowbar that separated those two blocks and moved it apart from the real reality to the created reality. And that's where 2022 is the year where that launches. That's why billionaires are trying to become intergalactic, and that shift has started. Planetary. We're starting to get intergalactic, planetary. That's what I see. But I also see that I still think they drag on. I think we're on booster 7 by December of 2022. I still think that they play this in the background. I still think that they've just created a cash cow and they're not going to let it go. Regardless of how much the public is over it, they're just going to still keep pushing it out. They got you to wear masks. They got you to get fucking vaccines that they created overnight. They got you to do all that shit. They're going to keep doing that, and they're going to keep sliding even more things in, but from different angles that you're not going to be able to see. And Yeah. Could be
Hey,
interesting.
have these vaccines been peer reviewed, Benji?
Peer reviewed. I know, right? No, they have not.
No such
All right.
thing. No such thing.
Keep that in
Wow.
mind when you watch a movie, Ben.
Well, fuck you guys. You fucking guys are just God, bunch of Debbie Downers over here. Well, as we approach our apparently what is it? The outcome of state control and decimation by COVID and market stagnation and the rise of the one known as Kamala. I think that's a good way to put a note on the end of this year. Like to say there's it's been an interesting year for all of us. A lot of things have happened to all of us personally. We've all gone through some stuff, so I like to kind of kindly say fuck you 2021. I'm not going to say I love 2022 yet, because probably going to have to say fuck you 2022 also, but there were some great people lost, and yeah, it was a tough year. So to everyone that kind of rode the train out with us, that dealt with that's going through what's happening, and just life in general, just remember, in the end, and every day, all this shit's gonna happen. Horrible things are gonna happen. The world's gonna be this or that, but just remember, you can control your part of your own universe. You can control your part of your days and your life, and you can still bring light to others. So with that being said, that's my peace out to 21, and my parting words.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing real quick. Shout out to all the fellow podcasters we've worked with throughout this year, especially to Deep MCs. Shout out to Shepard and Aaron. Put together a good show. I think I can't remember what month, but that's a show that I was close to and watched that thing come off of the ground. So I'm really proud of what you guys have done. I'm also proud of what Skip the Noise family has done. This is going on a year and a half now. This is the second fucking close out the year show we've done. That puts a little perspective on it. So I'm really proud of how all of a sudden it's like, boom, blink of an eye. I realized that as we were preparing for tonight's show, I was just like, holy shit, we're making predictions for next year for the second time. That's crazy. So if you stuck with us and you've listened this whole time, that's amazing. And that's a beautiful thing. I really appreciate your listening and staying with us. And some people who actually get their news from Skip the Noise. I like to think of us as we're a podcast for people that have a long commute home late at night, that want to put some crazy shit on those long drives where they're about to fall asleep before they pull into that driveway or the apartment complex or wherever the fuck you stay. But anyway, I appreciate all the listeners. Keep spreading the word, share it with a friend. Have a great new year. Be safe. Don't get too fucking crazy like I did last year. I'm trying to redeem myself. Hopefully it won't be as tumultuous as and if you want to, you can go back and find that episode. That'd be a fun little project for you to do. But Rick, you got any parting words for the last show of the year?
No, man, I think it's been fun doing this show with you guys for the last what is it, 2 years now? Damn.
Year and a half. Wow,
time's go by really fast. But you know what though, in that year and a half, I mean, think about it. We go through shit in our lives, and then we come together every week. we perform this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been fun. So anyway,
putting in a shift, another Skip the Noise shift. I'll have to clock out. Yeah, that's what we do.
I wonder if my kids are going to be like, 10 and we're still going to be doing this show every week. Wow.
I hope so. I really do. I hope so.
Yeah.
Here's to that, and here's to 2022. Everybody have a safe, happy New Year. Hope you had a Merry Christmas, and even if you didn't, it's not the end of the world. Just find some positive things to latch onto, and keep going, because it's not going to get any easier. Hate to tell you, but hopefully your day is wonderful, your weekend is wonderful, and we will see you next week. Take care. Have a good one.
Love you, Mom.
Oh, yeah.